Welcome to part 2 of the Camera Junkie Livestream episode 113. And somehow I'm gonna have to finagle these recordings. But as I mentioned in my previous stream and recording, I don't have this laptop set up for any of this. So my apologies for those who might have fallen off on the previous stream. I don't know if Mr. Moderator or anyone who's here could stop in and maybe redirect. Richard Sarkeesian is in the house. How you doing, Mr. Sarkeesi? Thank you for stopping by. I don't know if you were on the previous stream. We got Michael in here as well. Thank you, sir. Thank you for stopping in again. You guys are freaking amazing. I was going over my setup and I'm trying to push it too far and it's asking me to like activate and somehow it asked for my password. And in doing that, it totally just canceled the live stream. So it's nothing about Ecamm, but literally just me not having the thing set up because on one of the features that I was going to mention is that this is such a powerful tool that you can do so much with it, including podcast, live streamings, presentations to Zoom meetings, and is why I absolutely love it. A personal thing just to share with you guys that was something that just happened this week to me, which was the fact that I realized that me and my face, and somehow I am on the like now web page of Ecamm, through the works that I was able to do in the previous year with Doc Rock, with Katie, with Caleb, and such an amazing team, Austin, all the people over there. Of course, Ken and Glenn, the creators of Ecamm, and everyone at the HQ, everyone that we were able to, just everyone that we were able to see out there, and that was just such an amazing experience that now when I was making my video about these same topics earlier this week, I clicked my affiliate link to make sure that it was working. And what actually ended up happening was that I actually saw that Mr. Like Adrian Salisbury, that we all know and love, that's been on the Ecamm webpage. Now with the 4.0, we're using the same works that I was able to be a part of. And because how I mentioned before that you know the model that was supposed to show up on the second day of the photo shoot didn't. I was asked to step in, and because I was, valiant enough to say absolutely and just let's go for it, now I'm kind of rewarded with like a kind of another personal milestone where, I am so grateful, for Ecamm and everything that it has been able to do for me personally, that to be able to be part of it, and to be able to represent the company in that way is like an honor for me. So it's super cool that I am part of that. So Mr. Moderator is texting me here. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you for the message. I just understood it. Paul, Mr. Moderator, he's such an amazing moderator. He messaged me right away, letting me know what was going on with the previous thing. He says that the other one's completely shut down, so there's no way to like even like drop a message there, for anyone that could have been in the chat to like leave the link. So if they're able to get the notification and make it here, it's always highly appreciated. But that's the way that today has been. Everything's been just rolling with the punches. And he sent me another message here. Oh, he says he just found the new stream. Okay, so yeah, it completely shut down. Paul, thank you for stopping in as well. I'll probably be getting to your message right here. And yep, there he is saying take two. Absolutely. Look, nothing's even set up. Like, 'cause I usually have this thing set up where the comments automatically remove themselves after 30 seconds, is it? I'm going to look for it right now. So let's see. general, after 15 seconds, which is fine. Boom. So now I just set that up. So now I don't have to be Xing this out like absolutely raw. But you know what? I think I'm gonna take advantage of this, and maybe I'm going to do redo my stream completely with Ecamm, because there's a lot of updates that they implemented to Ecamm 4.0 that kind of take what I've done with my setup previously and kind of nullify it, but in a good way. Because now, instead of like I had mentioned before weeks back, where I would take a scene and just duplicate it and then change the cameras, right? And then add a timer to that scene with those changes implemented, and have various times set up in a folder. You don't even have to do that anymore. All you have to do is set up the one, two, or three scenes that you like. And now with the new camera switcher, you don't even have to have the cameras in sight. You can set those scenes up beforehand and just label camera A, camera B, camera C, and as many cameras that you like. And Paul's messaging me again. Oh, that was actually the same message because I didn't clear it. That's still on me. Well, because you can label all the cameras ahead of time. You don't even have to have the cameras, or the fact that you might have a camera change in a different setup. Then the only thing that you have to do is then connect said camera, said new camera A, new camera B, new camera C. And once you label them correctly, basically like you would label a guest on your live stream, right, and dedicate them to a specific spot as a secondary or a primary guest on your live stream. All those cameras will then be populated into your scenes that you created beforehand, before you even knew what type of equipment you were dealing with. And now you can take those preset scenes and create a new folder that actually has a timer built into it, and you can have that timer already set all of your scenes to either rotate in a random order, in a sequence, or in a random time or a specific time. And now it gives you complete control. And how I always like to randomize it, I will basically give it like the leniency of saying, I want you to switch the camera anything between I would say maybe 13 seconds as the fastest, to, you know, 29 seconds as the maximum, right? And every scene would start either between, 13 and 29, and completely be random. And all I would have to do is set up like three scenes, instead of having to have a multiple list where I've duplicated so many scenes that it's pretty substantial, just because I'm trying to give the like illusion of randomness. They've actually built in all the randomness that I've been trying to elude through all of this manipulation, right into just a click of a button on a folder. So now all you have to do is just literally set your cameras, put it in, and knock it out of the park. And that's just another added feature to this Ecamm Live 4.0. There's so much to uncover that I'm basically just going to redo my setup, because it really does put like null and void a lot of the things that I have already created within the program, but make it even better. Oh, so we got people hanging out. One thing that Crisp does not block out is background people. Because if it's a voice and it recognizes that voice, it's still gonna pump it through. So I'm gonna do my best, in my best gift of gab. I'm gonna do my best to just continue to speak over them until they pass by, to see if maybe there's no situation, because I don't think that, I could really control what they might have to say. And I don't want this to be accidentally shut down through like monetization or something because of unknown reasons. If I mess it up, hey, I'm owning to it, right? Like I was pushing it before and it was my bad. But hey, just complete randomness. Hey, that's what live streaming is all about. You can't get more live than that. Oh man, this is amazing. Kevin is cracking up over here. Let's get back to the comments over here. Let's see who we have on, live stream part due. Okay. So Mulain TV is over here saying hello again because I was talking to you before it literally clicked off, and we have Gretchen in the house. Says we just partied a while and waited. Thank you so very much, and thank you for hanging out. S- Say I missed it by this much. It's okay. Things happen. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've done so many, actually 113, right? That I'm already been well versed in what live streaming is. When I came over here, I couldn't find any files as far as like the background goes. So there was a part in the previous live stream where the camera cut out and went straight into like Christmas mode because that was the last time that I had used this, and because it was the only scene that I had set up for this computer, it was still in the Christmas theme. So, that's gonna be edited out, but definitely gotta still make, part one and two something together. Says Gretchen say, "Ooh, I want your autograph now." Oh, so funny. Okay. So we have Paul saying part two or take two. Elaine saying great. All right, you know what? Excuse me. They need to sponsor me. They know who they are. I'm not gonna mention it, but they know. They know. Kevin's in the house saying hello to everyone. I'm back on the new feed. Thank you. So glad that you were able to find it. Thanks to everyone who's able to make it here right now. And yeah, Kevin's actually saying, has everyone remembered to hit that like button? Please do so. It really does mean a lot. It tries to help and get this live stream out to more camera junkies out there, and you guys are such an amazing community that I know that this awesome algorithm is just going to find more of the correct camera junkies to enlarge the crew. So every little help does go a lot way. Says, I missed where you were, but I like the background. Oh, I'm in Orlando. I am actually here at my friend Chris's house. We were doing like the first camera junkie meetup, and it was kind of like a trial by fire. I've learned a lot, I'll tell you the truth, and I was talking to my friend Chris about it. I'm staying with him for the night. But what I learned is that to actually do something like this when we do have a bigger camera junkie crew, right? And I was able to make it to the World of Beer location, but I was late. And the cool part is that I knew that the Camera Junkie crew, if anyone were to be there, would be understanding of like my situation because I was just late to get to Orlando, late to get to my friend Chris's house. I was gonna try to see my nephew that's actually within, the vicinity, but his he wakes up very early, so he actually goes to sleep very early, which is new news to me, and I wasn't able to get in contact with him. So I'm definitely going to be setting things up to come back, especially to see my nephew. But at the same time, I learned a lot that to actually have a more successful event when there's more people around, I'm gonna have to make sure that I dedicate like the entire day because it's something that I would have to actually be there extremely early and take most of the time for the event. And then what transpires after that, hey, that's we could just shoot it to the wind, so to speak. But like that's a lesson that I was able to learn just attempting this first time as far as the meetup. But everything, even though delayed, just was able to still fit within today, which is why it was like so amazing. Um, Michael, that's hanging out with us, was actually able to meet us at the live stream, at the World of Beer, and we were able to hang out with Chris and his girlfriend Pamela. So, we were able to just have a really good time. We were there for like over an hour hanging out, even though, like I said, all the Puerto Ricanness came out and I was late, but I own it, right? Like I was able to do it, but I was late because I wasn't supposed to have Aiden, which was the idea, but he's the boss. So because things didn't fall the way that they should, Aiden had to come with me as well, which just put a little bit more time delay as a damper. But like I said, everything still turned out the way that it should have, right? Or was supposed to, and we were able to just enjoy the day without like rush and actually enjoy the time with Michael. And once again, because I don't know, I think it was part of the first one, but yes, shout out to his wife, Marina. Yeah, because she's also been a huge supporter of me, and also, being able to, share with Michael. And also another thing that I didn't mention previously, like, wish you all the luck, Michael, and success with your new editor and all the things that you got going forward. So he's got things moving in a great direction, and I'm really excited for him too. So yes, let's go back once again to the chat. Um, Mr. Moderator, always letting everyone know if you got a question for me, yes, please put a Q colon in front of it. That way I'll be able to organize that, because before we close out the live streams, I have the power through Ecamm to just select, the Q colon, and it will filter through all of the comments so that the only ones that are left for me to see are the ones that are actual questions so that I can address them, basically like highlighting those comments through the mist. And right now we have, like I said, a growing community, a growing crew of camera junkies. But once these things start getting, once it pops off, so to speak, these are the tools that we need to like master, so that when the chat is way faster that you can't slow it down, you can really pinpoint what you're looking for so that you can answer the questions, to the best of your ability. So yes, that always helps. All right, David Harvey officials here saying shout out to Mr. Camera Junkie for the late night stream. Thank you for stopping by. It's always appreciated. And yeah, tonight's definitely late night. So I thought you had a gator sneaking up on you, says Kevin. That's the impromptu, like, gift of gab, so to speak, throwing it out there, making sure that that's always like I kept a noise floor, so to speak, because I don't know what was going on back
More of
there.
a third floor though. No,
Yeah,
it's
that's the
okay.
whole thing. The fact that you guys heard anything, because it's voices, is that we're on the third floor. So this is just some like little lights here, but we just got like basically a lake and SeaWorld behind that. And that's where I'm at today, live from Orlando, and just fresh off of the World of Beer meetup with Michael. And here's Michael saying hello to hi to Gretchen. Um, yes, and he was the one that I was just mentioning, and his wife Marina. So thank you. It's I just stay in shock. I'm humbled and amazed, but I'm so glad to help inspire and just document my journey. That is just opening doors, and like we were saying, just kind of speaking things into existence. So really excited about all that. Says Says hello from Buckeye, Arizona. What's up, my favorite tech? Thank you for stopping in. And Mr. Moderator says, thought I had fell asleep and missed 2020. It says, no worries, there's lots to learn in the new version. Well, I was learning it, but in my Mac Studio. And the whole thing is that the last time I used this in Christmas time, 4.0 wasn't available. So it did not have 4.0, and that kind of cleared some things out. and just me being me probably cleared my desktop where I probably had the video file. Or actually, what happened was I actually never downloaded the original video file for the background or anything like that on this computer. So the only one that I had was the Christmas one, which was the one that popped into the previous live streams. But we live and we learn. So I can find some overlays too. I think a bunch of my 3.9 overlays meeting with 3.9 somehow from a ski vacation. Oh, so you've been having some issues too? Like, oh, let me make sure I read that correctly. It says that, yeah, the shirts can't find a bunch of the same overlays from like the 3.9 version. But yeah, that's just hilarious as well. Because, but it's like I said, it's kind of better. Like, well, it is better, but it's like it makes your previous settings kind of like null and void in a good way, right? Because it just makes it easier for you to be able to rebuild. Because if I wanted the complete setup, I can do that. The longest thing that it would take is basically the time that it would take for me to download the video file from Canva, right? As you know, like Canva Pro user, to be able to just download that video. And I'm not even sure how strong the bandwidth is here, but let's check it out because this should be able to let me know. And yeah, I can't push it too much. Basically, right now, as what Ecamm is telling me, right? And hope everything hasn't seemed like it's been glitchy at all, but I'm uploading at 5.7 megabytes per second right now, and so that's a 720 stream with the audio, the whole thing going out, and my speeds right now. And to let you know, I am on the Wi-Fi, so no hardline connection on the MacBook Air. It's coming in at 11.4. So I'll be able to probably like add another camera, things like that, but not that much to be downloading a video file to actually use it. But like I said, the only thing that I would need to do is to download that video. Once I got it onto the computer, I'll be able to throw it in there just by dragging and clicking and throw on a camera on top of it, simple border, and we go from there. That will just set everything off. Um, yeah, and the only thing that I usually have here as well that I don't have tonight is the music. So usually hanging out with that, and yeah.
Question.
Oh,
Might
he's
be a
got a
repeat
question.
This is a live question, so I can type.
Yeah.
Text it up. But what about your Wi-Fi connection? If you're connected to a 2G versus a 5G, does that help in any sense with having extra equipment on you and bandwidth in any of that sense?
Well, the bandwidth, yes,
Okay.
because that's the actual wave. So
Uploading,
if the
okay.
question is, so to say, I know that you guys heard it, Chris, through the live stream. The difference would be the actual amount of bandwidth. The 2.4 is half of the 5G.
Okay.
So having double amount is going to allow double time the amount of data. But basically, like AM and FM, the distance is what really gets compromised. The closer you are, you'll be able to connect to a 5G network and get a stronger signal because you're closer. But the 2.4 will actually reach you further distances. So from your home network, you might be connected on the dual band, which allows for both. And that will give you the distance that you want, but at a slower speed at the 2.4. And that's like basically using AM and FM at the same time for one.
Talk to me like I fell in there. No.
Okay, that's true. So yeah, so using them both is basically like AM and FM, right? Because you're using them together, and that's what basically dual band, Wi-Fi is. If you're close enough to get the 5G network, it's gonna use that because it's a stronger signal, like FM on your radio, where you actually be able to hear it nice and clear. But obviously, we all know that like talk radio and AM actually travels a lot longer, so you'll be able to hear those stations from a much longer distance. So once you get the fallout from FM, you could use the AM and it would jump onto that one automatically. That's kind of my layman's terms between the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi networks when people have those mesh dual bands within their own homes.
Oh, gracias.
All right, so let's go back here. It says Kevin's still laughing over here about the people in the background. He says, just got here and wasn't sure what the situation is, but glad that it's people and not the Gators. Absolutely. But like I said, even though if it was Gators, because they could be, like we're on the third floor. So, over here, like even though you might see alligators like jumping fences, right? And you see these videos that go viral and they're like, oh, they can do this and that. Yeah, but that's in South America where they're just like a lot more savage. The Gators over here in Florida, they're lazy. They're not climbing to the third floor because they already know that there's plenty on the first and second. So we're in the clear.
And I think gators are only in Florida, and everywhere else we got crocs. And crocs are pretty aggressive, man.
Well, I think there's actual
They're the
differences.
cousins. Yeah, yeah.
But we got the lazy ones for sure. Like we got the crocodiles and alligators that are on vacation over here, especially in the Orlando area. We're
It's a
like,
little chilly there.
man,
They're taking their time. They're enjoying the weather. They're not here.
there's most likely a user error on my part, losing overlays. I trashed my downloads. Most likely that's where they were. Oh well, opportunity getting creative again. Absolutely, because that's the whole thing. Like it gets better and just gives us a new opportunity to just switch it up. And yeah, me that I'm trying to use this mostly as well as the platform for the podcast, what it kind of looks like, is always more than good enough, right? And there's like, for example, there's content creators that sometimes like I listen to because the way that they present, right? And that they don't look at the camera and they're always like doing things that maybe trigger my like minor OCD, right? I would just rather get the information, not look at them and listen to them as a podcast so that the negative aspect of their video doesn't trigger me, but I still get all the benefits of what I'm trying to learn. And those are the ways that I work around it, right? But then that also leads me to believe, like Chris was mentioning before, to actually address the camera, even though I was answering to him, right? Because he's even here just also spectating and also to give that correct eye contact to you, the audience who's out there hanging out in chat. So those are things that bother me when other content creators don't do it. So I make emphasis to do that myself because that's just me trying to be the best creator, or like Marquez Brownlee says, me trying to be the creator that I want to see on YouTube, right? So like many philosophers or leaders have said before, lead by example, right? It's not that simple. And I mean, it is that simple to just lead by example instead of trying to make it difficult. So lead by example, and that's what I'm trying to do. So we continue. Kevin says, looks good and sounds via iPhone Speedify connection on Disneyland Main Street waiting for fireworks show. Oh, wow. That's great. So you're watching it through the iPhone. That's super cool, man. I'm glad that you're out there having fun, man. That's super cool. He's in Disneyland right now watching the Camera Junkie live stream and watching fireworks. Like that's like amazingly meta, right? So that's super dope. Like that's like the picture that I just got in my mind. Like that's super cool, Kevin. Thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, let's see here. Yep, Gretchen is saying, don't forget to hit that like button. Highly appreciate it. She's also laughing at the Gators. It says, "Oh, the Gators at Disney World." That's it's a better variety of snacks. Absolutely right. They're getting catered over here. Oh my God. But everyone, this has been a success. From getting to the Orlando area late, to getting to my friend Chris's house late, to getting to World of Beer late, and getting to the late live stream late. and getting to make part two. And two, because of me trying to push all of this together. There's so many amazing things that you can do with Ecamm. And next week, we're going to explore even more of these features as I kind of redo my same setup and make it even easier to record myself for next week's live stream and all the content that I'm going to make in the future. So I'm really excited. The power of Ecamm just keeps getting better and better. And I just want to thank every single one of you who was able to hang out with me in the first live stream and those with me now. You guys are what make this like the best thing of my every week that I just cannot, like, I'm just so amazed how big of a part it of my life that my live stream is. Episode 113.2 in the books. And I want to thank every single one of you out there who's hanging out with me and all the camera junkies. You guys are the best. I will be doing it all over again next week. Should be at the regular time, right? But I will be keeping you all updated. Everything expected should be at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Same Camera Junkie channel, same place. Well, actually,
No
the
gators.
first place, like Chris says, no gators. And I will see you all next week. Have a great night, guys.
Gotta jump in there.